Welcome to the Villa Pride Down Under podcast. I'm Tes. I'm joined as always by my good friend Spud, and we're kind of buzzing against this, the next match against Brentford. The big question that I've been asking though is, does Donyell Malen get his first Premier League start for the season? We'll also talk about Emery's tough decisions, celebrating our boy Morgan Ridgers absolutely smashing it by getting that Young PFA Player of the Year award, legend. And also we discuss exactly how we can get 3 points away from home, and I'll be relying on Spud's analytics. Can I say the word? Analytics. And so you don't want to miss this one. If you are listening and joined us, please get involved in the comments, and we will definitely try to get to your questions and have a conversation around your questions. So far we've got a few people in. Spud.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Oh, I tell you what, mate, you left this to the very last minute. It was I was about to press the button and go on by myself, and I was like, I'll just wait 30 more seconds just in case he pops in. And what happens? You pop in.
Beautiful, mate. Yeah, it's hard time in between the minute you get home from work, shower, dinner, and get the kids down to be on in time when you're 2 hours ahead of me. But we managed it. This is a close call this time, but it worked. Good thing about the live podcast, it makes you get a push on.
Yeah. And it's really good that you made it as well, because I could see that you were sweating and stuff when you came in. I could see the lights just shining on you and stuff. I was
running around the house trying to get a 2-year-old down, ready, get dressed, get the dishes cleaned, the lunch made for tomorrow, but we're settled. We're all good to go, mate.
Lovely. And I think
hopefully we get the same work rate out of the boys Saturday.
Oh, we're going to get the same work rate. Oh, I hope. You got the memo. We're both wearing the black shirts today. I don't know if you saw, but the new third strip's out. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit towards the end on a really nice positive note. Talk about the third strip, which I'm pulling my hair. I don't have hair, but I'm pulling my hair out because I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got to go and spend a bunch more money now, because they've got long sleeves, short sleeves, retro gear, kidding me. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. First of all, let's talk about the game against Brentford. We're away this weekend on Saturday, and I guess we have quite a decent record against Brentford in the past. It's been okay. My first question to you is, how do we beat Brentford on the weekend?
Yeah, I think in the Championship we had a pretty poor record against them, but I think you're right. Our recent history against them has been pretty positive. And of course, we had that first game after Steven Gerrard got the sack when we had Neil Cutler in charge, and they went on and we smashed them 4-0, and that was kind of the beginning of the turning of the tide for us. I think that's where the landslide started to change for Villa in the Premier League. So yeah, it was since then I think we have had a pretty good record for them. I don't want this to come back and bite me in the ass, but I'm going to be honest with you. Brentford as a club I've admired for a long time. I think they go about their business very well. They're a very well-run club. They get their managerial appointments spot on. They don't panic. They just believe in what they want to do. But
I've actually a couple of good players.
They've given us a couple of good players, but I've actually before the season kicked the ball, I've strongly tipped them to get relegated this year. To be honest,
Hang on a second. What? You think you're sorry? I'm just making sure that I heard that right. You're thinking it's a possibility Brentford Football Club could get relegated this year?
I think it's not just a possibility, I think it's a very strong possibility.
Wow. Okay.
In fact, to the point where I would put them in the bottom three.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I never saw
that could come back to bite me in the arse. That might come back to bite me in the arse, but Brentford have always been good at moving players on and replacing them, and managers ready to step in. I just think that they're losing far too much in one hit, far too much quality. They've lost Brian Mbeumo. Johan Vissa wants out the door, probably will get out the door. If he doesn't, they can't play him anyway because he's refusing to play. You're talking 50 goals there gone straight away from that team last year. The big one for me, and everyone mentions Mbeumo and Johan Vissa, which obviously goals are important.
Sade as well, yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't think he's on the level of the two lads and how well they play together. But I don't think people are underestimating the loss of Christian Norgard from the midfield there as well. He signed for Arsenal. It's a very good squad signing for Arsenal. I think it's clever for certain games, but He's going to be huge. He's Brentford captain. I rate him very highly for that level of a team. Very, very, very functional footballer. And so they've lost him. They've lost all the goals up front, and they've lost Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank has gone to Tottenham Hotspur, which I was surprised he took the job. I can understand why he did with Champions League, but for them, it was a great move. I thought it was a great shout by Spurs to move in for Thomas Frank, because he's just good at what he does. He'll attack when he needs to attack. If he needs to throw 11 men behind the ball, he will. He's a very good coach, very astute man with a very, very good team around him. I know he relies heavily on his analyst guy, who he treats as his number 2. He's brought him with him. I just think there's far too much change. And I'm going to be honest, I know Keith Andrews, the new coach, is very liked around Brentford, but look, I'm Irish, Keith Andrews is Irish, so I've had the torture of having to listen to him as a pundit on Irish TV before, and for me, I find him very, very draining to listen to, and I just kind of think if things go wrong, I think he could lose the dressing room very, very quickly, and he's got no Premier League managing experience. He was a set-piece coach at Brentford. I know why they brought him in, because it's worked for them in the past, with the Thomas Frank being on the coaching staff of Dean Smith, and it was like a seamless transition from, and then he took him to the next level. So there's probably been so much change at the club now that they wanted a bit of continuity in the coaching department after Thomas Frank left. So I think that's why Keith Andrews was brought in. But for me, and I might be proved wrong, I don't think it's the right appointment. I think for the amount of change that Brentford have, to bring in such an inexperienced coach, I think it's going to come back and bite them in the ass, to be honest. I think I haven't tipped as my first coach to get sacked in the season. I think it's a foot race between himself and Graham Potter, but I think it's a foot race that Keith Andrews is going to win, because, as I said, come 5 o'clock Saturday, this could all come back and bite me in the ass. I can only just give the information, in my opinion, on what I feel now, and watching them at the weekend has done absolutely nothing to change that opinion for me. They're lacking a structure because they're lacking a structure because it's so early in their tenure. And I honestly think he'll probably be gone before he even lays down the foundations of what he's trying. That's just my opinion.
So now that you're saying that, big win for Villa on Saturday, that's what you're saying? Are you going with a big win against Brentford on Saturday? They're a team that's going to be, in your opinion, going to be more than likely going to be relegated, and Villa might be just a bit too much for Brentford on the weekend.
I'd be I wouldn't say concerned, but I'd be slightly disappointed, certainly, if a man of Unai Emery's tactical knowledge and brilliance cannot come up with a game plan against a club who are low in quality at the moment, have a new manager who's never managed in the Premier League, who are going to severely lack goals in the season and have lost the engine room in Christian Norgard. If we can't come up with a tactical plan this early in the season to beat them, then I'll be very disappointed come full time, to be honest. And that's no slight in Brentford. That's just, I think Unai Emery needs to be able to outwit Keith Andrews in his first game at home at the GTEC. That's just my opinion.
I reckon the boys will be up for a good game against Brentford anyway, and going away from home. And it's something that I think, in my opinion, the Villa fans and the Villa squad themselves will say, we didn't have the best away form last season, and we really want to improve on that this season. And if we had better away form last season, we would have probably been in a lot better position as well. Which brings me to the lineup, right? So we've had a safe lineup for the first game that we had against Newcastle playing at home. Is this the game where we see the man Daniel Marlin start for Aston Villa away at Brentford? I'm hoping we do, for sure.
Don't
get my hopes down.
No, would I put $100 on it in the morning? No, but no, I do. I think he will start this game. To be honest with you, I just think he probably would have started last week, but I just think Emery just wanted to go with something to try and test it. It's a difficult fixture against Newcastle. Get a point, get 3 points on the board, move on. I think we'll probably see a little bit more of what we're going to be about this season in this game, to be honest. And I'd like to think that Malin's going to offer the wit that was desperately missing last week. You know me, I'm not a negative fan. I'm usually very positive. So I think we covered last week's game. I'd be expecting much more of us put on the front foot this game. I think it was just to get through the game last week and get points on the board. But now I think we have to be looking to get 3 points. We've a nice little run here now for the next 3 or 4 games, and I think we need to go out and take the 3 points.
Well, I think we can go and get the 3 points, but I think it'll be important for Marlon to start because he'll probably get. I'll tell you the score now because I can't bother to wait till later. But I think it's going to be like 3-0 for Villa, and I think Marlon will get 2 assists and a goal, and Watkins will get 2 goals against his old club. But I'm finding it strange, and I'm trying to understand why Marlon isn't really getting the starts and why he didn't get more minutes in that previous game. Obviously, I understand that we were down to 10 men, but when he did come on, he actually made a difference, and we kind of need that at the moment of somebody who can come off the bench and start making a difference and start stretching defenders. So I've been a little bit confused as to why Emery hasn't been using Marlon so much, especially during the preseason. He's been absolutely smashing it. Yeah.
That's why I kind of do expect to see him this weekend. I think it's he will start, I would imagine. Who he starts in front of, that's probably debatable. McGinn possibly. I think he might possibly start in the right ahead of McGinn. A fit Morgan Rogers just won't get dropped, I don't think, and at the moment. I think Emery likes him too much for his tactical abilities where he can play anywhere across that tree. I think as well with Rico Henry playing left back, he's very good left back for Brentford, but he likes to get high up the pitch. So I think Marlon on the right makes a lot of sense for this game anyway, because there will be space in behind. I think because Henry will push on, and if he doesn't, then that's good for us too, because I think you'll be taking away their fullback's best attribute. If he's told to stay at home, then you're taking away something that Rico Henry offers to any game. So I think Marlon will start, and I think Marlon start nice and wide, and hopefully start creating problems out of there, because Ollie Watkins was very isolated in the game against Newcastle, and we just can't have that. I think there'll be much more space there now to get Rodgers and Watkins nice and close together.
Ollie was playing against decent defenders though, right? In Newcastle, although Dan Burn is in my opinion, and we talked about it, he's a bit awkward when he plays and stuff. He's still a very good defender, and you've got Fabian Schär, who's got that record of scoring goals against Villa. So Ollie was playing against some good pedigree defenders, but I don't know that Brentford have the same quality in defenders, and is more than likely to get a lot more space during this game.
And
who's their danger man then? Who's Brentford's danger man for this game?
Well, I think they're missing a lot of who they are, because I think Mikkel Damsgaard, who I rate very highly, very, very intelligent passer of the ball. They're saying he's very doubtful now for personal reasons, whatever's going on with him. There's no one really there's no one there that I'd be too worried about at the moment.
They're just buying everyone from London clubs. So
of course, I would probably expect Jordan Henderson to start this game. I know he was only on the bench last week, but I would expect him to come in there and play next to Matthias Jensen. But
I did not know Jordan Henderson had gone to
Brentford. Yeah, he was on the bench last week. He signed for Ajax. He was on the bench last week. I thought it was absolutely nailed on. I thought the end of last season, I thought the most clear-cut transfer of the season was going to be Jordan Henderson back to Sunderland, but no, he popped up at Brentford.
Same colours though, isn't it? Stripy red and white stripes. He got confused with the contract, so...
They have a very good centre-half in Nathan Collins, so very physical, very fit. But again, I think balls in behind can trouble Nathan Collins in the past, so I think that's where Watkins, you'd be looking to get Watkins and Rodgers nice and close together, and again getting Marlon in behind. So that's where I think we can hurt them. Where they can hurt us at the moment, I'm struggling to see. To be honest, I just think there's too much gone from them. They're obviously going to have threats, but I think it's going to take them a while to get into becoming a functional team, to be honest. So there'll be no one that I'm too worried about at the moment in that Brentford team, if I'm honest. They will play a 4-2-3-1. That's what I'm pretty sure of that, which will probably suit us a bit. because if we can easily match them up with two sitting, 3 up front. So yeah, I would expect us to win this game comfortably, to be honest.
Got to say good evening to Smithy, and he said, "Hi lads, just popping in before work starts. Good thing that he got up on time for work. Says he'll be disappointed if we don't get 3 on Saturday. Watkins, Guessant, and Marlon and Rogers up front for me. And who's replacing Esri? Oh, there's a few players. There's a couple of players there getting dropped from the first team, according to Smithy. So." Obviously the one for Esri Konza goes without saying, but he's got Gasson and Marlon. So who gets dropped for those, Spud?
If I was to nail my colours to the mast right now, I would probably say it would be Kamara will play as the right centre back and Pau Torres will play as the left centre back. There is a small chance that Bogard comes in and plays alongside Mings, but I'm fairly confident that Pau Torres is going to come back into the starting lineup here. So I think it'll probably be Kamara and Pau Torres, to be honest.
Ah, interesting. I suppose that would be a good game for Torres to come back in anyway, wouldn't it? Like in terms of we'd be expected to dominate possession and
the ball,
we'll have the ball a bit more, and that gives him the opportunity to be able to. He's really good at finding people and long balls sometimes, and when we're in possession, he seems to be really good in that space there. And hopefully, if we go by what you're saying, is we won't have to worry too much in that defensive area, the physicality side of it. They don't have I don't know if Wiss is playing or not, but possibly
he won't be. No, he's not in the squad. No,
they don't have Mboma no more. They do have Sade, as I mentioned before, who has got that pace, and they got a couple of defenders who are probably good at set pieces, and that's something we should definitely be concerned about.
Yeah, and of course their coaches, their former set piece coach as well, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of focus on the set pieces. And they've got Michael Coyote, who they signed from Fiorentina. He was on loan the second half of last season. He'll play right back. He's a very, very good player. He's someone Villa were looking at in the past as well. So there is a bit of quality there, but I just don't think they have the components at the moment. They have it spread out, but I don't think they're a team yet who's functioning, to be honest. The other thing that could happen too is it could be just very simply that Torres and Mings play together. Mings moves over and replaces Konza, and we literally have the same setup in front of us where Tielemans is the number 10 and Onana and Kamara are sitting, because I have no problem with Yuri Tielemans being number 10, but Yuri Tielemans has to be a number 10 if Pau Torres is playing. You can't not have either of them, because there's no creativity from deep if Yuri Tielemans is in number 10 and Pau Torres is on the bench. So I think most likely I would say though Kamara and Torres will be the starting, and that's no slighting Mings, because he's probably one of our better players last week. But I think the lack of creativity tells me that Torres will probably come straight back in this week.
Yeah, so sorry about that. If you heard my dog, he's going nuts over something. He's like really old, going deaf and blind as well. So he probably smelled a possum outside or something, and he's absolutely going bonkers out there. And he's inside, so he can smell them from anywhere. So should we talk about your lineup? Let's say, let's talk about your first 11. I think mine's going to be pretty similar to last week, except a couple of changes that I would like to see. But what's going to be your 11?
Do you want my 11 that I think it should be, or what I think it will be?
Let's go with what you think it should be. Let's make it about us.
What do I think the should be? If it was me, I'd probably go 5-3-2 or 5-3-1-1.
5-3-1-1.
Yeah, I fight like a 5-3-1-1. Yeah, and I would probably have like Matty Cash on the right, Maatsen on the left, Pau Torres, Mings and Bogard. I would then have Onana, Kamara, sorry, in sitting, Tielemans, Rogers and Watkins.
Yeah, nice. What's the team actually going to be though?
What's the team actually going to be? All right,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Martinez in
I
goal.
did ask for your opinion. I did ask for what your team would be, but I'm like, oh, there's a few changes in there, isn't there?
Yeah, because I think like 5-3-1-1 was very functional against their 4-2-3-1, to be honest. But it's not going to happen. That's what I would think but I think we will get Witt in, because in a 5-3-2-1 you're getting Witt from further back the pitch, So Matt and Matty Cash would be able to offer a lot of Witt without worrying too much about their defensive responsibilities. But it's not going to happen anyway. So what will happen, I would probably say, is probably be Martinez in goal, Luca Dean left back, Matty Cash right back, Kamara centre back, and Pautara centre back.
Yeah, I was going to go centre back. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right centre back. Emery is so right back, left back driven. Yeah. So the only way I don't see Kamara being the right centre back is if Bogart starts, which is a possibility. But I think because we now have Onana in the books, I think he can go with Tielemans and Onana and play Kamara as the right centre back, to be honest. And then I think it will be, I think it'll be Malin, Watkins, and Rodgers up top.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I'd like to see Maatsen play though. Like that's what I would really like to see Maatsen start.
I think he should. I think he should. I'm not sure he will, to be honest.
Yeah. No, agree. I think Emery kind of shows that he doesn't really move the team around that much, does he? He hasn't been really, but I would like to see that. And I suppose one of the things that he'll want to do is just in the initial stages, he's going to just want to make sure that when we're going away from home, he's got his best team out there because he wants to pick up those points. I'd imagine he doesn't want to show too much respect to Brentford side, and we go there and we don't turn up and we don't perform and we don't get those 3 points, because it will be really, really important at this early stage of the season, in my opinion.
If we get a window test, and I think 4 points from Brentford and Newcastle to start the season would be
take it
perfect, because if they were reverse results where you had a win against Brentford at home and a draw against Newcastle away, you'd be very happy.
Yeah.
So I think 4 points in those two games would be a reasonable start, to be honest. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Just before I get on to the next question, Spud, just want to say thank you to all of our Australian listeners who are on Facebook, who have been engaging with us. Really happy that you've joined us. And please, if you have any questions or anything, please drop them in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe if you haven't heard us before. If you're enjoying the content, just give us a like, subscribe. It really helps the channel. Also, big shout out to those of you that are on X. We were also streaming live to X today. I thought I'd give that a test out to see if that would work. And so far, it looks like it's working. So hello to all of you and thanks for joining us. So I just want to move topics because I did say tonight that we wouldn't be on here for a very long time because we've still got Sunday to come post-match when we win against a relegated perspective in Brentford. You killed me with that. I was like, oh my God. That just blew my mind, Spud. So Aston Villa currently have the young PFA Player of the Year in Morgan Rogers. Absolute legend. And in my opinion, bloody well deserved. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, he's joining an illustrious group of players to have won the Young Player of the Year for Villa as well. James Milner, Ashley Young, Andy Gray, I believe. And there was one more who, unfortunately, I think was beyond a little bit too early for my time, but I do believe there was one more who won it as well, the Young Player of the Year for Villa. So if there's anyone in the comments who can tell me who that player was, I'd be very much appreciated. But there was one more, I'm pretty sure. But it's Andy Gray, James Milner, and Ashley Young have won it before us. So it's a massive honour for Rodgers, and well deserved. He had a phenomenal year, and he was in there. He was nominated with some very, very good players, and hopefully that kicks him on a bit of confidence now and stuff as well. And he's I think he's due a big performance this weekend too, and I think that would help. I'm sure he'll bounce into that game now full of confidence as well.
He's a player that we brought in after watching a cup game. We discussed it last week, so I won't go too much into it, but he's a young player we brought in and almost forced to come into the team straight away due to injuries and stuff. And Emery has just improved him, and the coaching staff have improved him all the time throughout last season.
Yeah, he's been a phenomenal find by Emery. I know when he was really young, he was tipped for big things at Man City anyway. So, but he did kind of lose his way a bit. Like, I remember last year we had Jacob Tanswell on the podcast, and Jacob talked about his loan at Bournemouth and stuff, and how he didn't really pull up any trees or anything. And I've kind of, once we signed him, I started to look back over a lot of stuff myself with like his time at Lincoln and a few others. All the clubs, in fairness, and they all congratulate him yesterday too on his award. But I think it was the move to Middlesbrough kind of done it for him. He started playing regularly at a relatively high level, and yeah, just what a bit of scouting from Emery, because he does his own analysis on games too and stuff, and then he said that
I would argue
Rogers was just someone just stuck out with his back. Yeah, he decided very astute signing from us. I
would argue with Rogers that, like, he did tail off at the end of last season, but I would argue that he pretty much played every minute of every game that he was able to, plus playing in Europe, and all of the pre-season as well. That's my excuse for Morgan as to why his performance dipped. But he's going to come and have an excellent season this season. Like, I think he's going to be my player of the season this season. I think he's going to be like the one to step up and just make a lot of things happen. And I'm hoping that he plays through the middle a lot as well. I'm not really a big fan of him playing wide. Like, maybe if the game's stretched, like the 65 minute, 70 minute, when he's playing from the left and then can sort of open up in the middle there. But I felt like we wasted him playing on the right last season. I felt like it was just a bit of a waste, especially when Asensio kind of dipped. He came in with a bang with Rashford, but then he really dipped. And I couldn't see why we weren't moving Rodgers back through that middle at the end of the season. So big player for us this season. Congratulations to Morgan Rogers, well deserved, and another sort of trophy for not only for him personally but also for the club. So that's really, really good. Managed to get into the England squad as well, which is really good too.
Yeah, no, he's saying his big push is to be in the World Cup squad, and look, barring injury, I don't see any reason why he won't definitely be in the squad. Obviously, I think hopefully pushing for a first team play or a starting place at the World Cup, but if he has even 3/4 of the season he had last season, he will be in the World Cup squad. I'd love to see Emery just go rogue Saturday and just like mix it all up and just go, Tielemans and Kamara as the pivots, and then just bang, just go Watkins up top, Marlon on the right, Rodgers in the middle, Gasson on the left, and just say, here, you're a new coach, go deal with this problem, Matt. Let's see what your Brentford can hold up.
What Gasson's doing as well. I'd be interested to see what Gasson can do as well.
Yeah, the one thing we know about Emery is though he's not going to do that. not yet. But wouldn't you love to just see it? Wouldn't you love to just to throw a bomb and just throw the 4 attackers out there and have a lovely sitting team of Kamara and Tielemans, and then just have Gasson on the left, Rodgers in the middle, and Madden on the right playing behind Watkins, because I think you just blow Brentford away with that. Like, I'm just waiting for those that explosive games like we've had at different periods last year. Emery's obviously learning a lot with his squad, and we know he's kind of coaching with his hand tied behind his back. So there's going to be times where the team just needs to be functional, not pretty, because he can't just go out and buy whoever he wants. He's just got to keep us ticking over until these issues, which we're not going into, are out the way. So it's really hard to knock him for any style of play at the moment. It is going to be pedestrian at times, but it's going to be functional. But I think this is a game where you can just let the handbrake off and throw your weight around, like a la Newcastle in April or Brighton when we beat them 6-1, where they just went. Even McGinn said in his interview after the Brighton game, the team talk was basically, this is what we're going to do. And he was like, we all felt we were going to win 6-0 or lose 6-0 whenever he just set us up. So, it'd be nice to see a game like that again, because we are capable of it. And I have no doubt, as I said in the pod last week, that after the red card, and I'm sure we would have seen Malin and Gassant last week. But I think Malin to start and Gassant to come on would be lovely. But I just wish Emery would just pull the handbrake up and just start them all for one game. Let's see what you got. Show them in the deep end.
Yeah, I think so, and it will give it will kind of give the other team like, what the hell just happened here, because they will be planning for the usual 11 that Emery normally starts, right? Just got to say a big shout to Josh. He's been following us for a long time.
Josh,
He's
how are you, man?
Good friend of the pod. He agrees with me that Marlon needs to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to start, but with Emery, nothing is guaranteed. I think he will. I think he will.
Yeah, I think Marlon gets to start, and I think Maatsen also gets to start as well. So look, I said we're not going to be on so long, so we'll just wrap this up. A couple of little things that have happened recently. I think Leandro Dendoncker has now left the club. I think that's been finalised, which is really good news for us, and hope he does well elsewhere. And Leon Bailey looks like he's now joined Roma on loan with a sort of, I think there's a deal that the move could be permanent in the future. So good luck to Leon Bailey. I did read somewhere that he got injured in his first training session. That's awkward. And I read a really funny comment from somebody on social media that just says, Monchi and Verdigami, turn off your phones because he's not coming back. Which I thought was really, really funny, and I agree with a lot as well. So good luck to Leon Bailey. I wish him the best. And there is some truth to what Darren's saying there as well. I think we had enough of Bailey in terms of, he gave us some really good times. But clearly it's time for him to move on and find first team football somewhere else, because I'm not sure that he's going to be playing week in, week out for us.
When a player leaves, like I always try and I forget about all the bad stuff that happened with them once they're going out the door, and I try and just keep a memory of the good stuff that happened whilst they were here. And it's like when Jadon Philogene-Bidace left, anytime I think of him now, I try and think of the Bayern Munich game. When Dendoncker now left, I was thinking about Dendoncker today, and I just thought of that Newcastle game with the 3-0. I was thinking of Emery's first game in charge against United. And with Bailey, I'll always remember his goal against Man City at Villa Park, Bailey played a massive part in getting us to that Champions League. He's never really, as Darren pointed out there, he's never really been fit and firing for us for long periods. I'll always remember his debut against Everton when he came off the bench and he scored that thunderbolt. And then at the same time managed to tear his quad, and he missed the first 6 weeks after that, or the next 6 weeks. I feel really sorry for him going off to Rome and getting injured on his first game, to be honest, because there's definitely a player there. I just think maybe at times the Premier League passes him by. But when he's at it and he's feeling loved and he's fit and firing and ready for it, he is a good player. There's no doubt about it, but he's just a bit inconsistent. So I genuinely was gutted to see him that he was injured today, because I'd like to have seen him do well and earn a good move for himself, because he's played an important part of our rebuild in the last few years.
There's no doubt about it. And as I say, good luck to him. Just wasn't. I think he's one of those players that we just weren't able to. I think he needs an arm around his shoulder. Those types of players that really need an arm around their shoulder just to give them that confidence and keep them going. And there were signs that he wasn't happy at some points. He was, the couple of occasions where I think at the end of the season he was kind of on his knees and kind of knew he was on his way out. And then there was another time where he just wasn't performing and he was really upset, visibly upset on the pitch. And I think when I saw that, I thought that was the beginning of the end for him playing at the club, to be honest, or trying to find a new challenge somewhere else. And I felt like at the end of last season that this season, at the beginning of the season, he would be one of the first players that were going to be out of the door to find a new opportunity. So good luck to Leon Bailey. Let's finally, I've got to tell you my frustration. So every season I buy, the new shirt, buy the new shirt, I always tend to buy the away shirts or the ones that are sort of black or something like that. But then what happens is the Villa go and start releasing new shirts, which means that we have to spend more money.
Let's do it,
yeah. So they got a third kit, and they released the third kit, and it's basically telling you have to go and spend more money. I'm showing this because I got it from the Aston Villa website. What's your thoughts on that new shirt there? I mean, I like the long sleeves on that one too, but more importantly, Spud, I really like the retro, the old school Adidas sign. What are your thoughts on this one?
I really like it. Look, I'm not a fan of long sleeve top shirts, and when we get shut down the cameras for that, that's just my personal opinion. I don't think anything wrong. I'm just not really a fan of them. But the shirt I actually like. I'll definitely buy it. And I'm even happier to see Kamara donning it after signing his new contract, because it was a big concern of mine that he wasn't going to be here this year. So I'm very, very happy to see Kamara. It's a lovely shirt. It's something different. I'll definitely be buying it. And it's nice. It's like we've had a lot of same over the last.
I think I said to you on our WhatsApp chat, I was like, well, maybe, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll get the long sleeve one. But you were like, oh no, I prefer the short sleeve one. But I'm thinking about our weather here in Australia. Maybe you're right. Maybe the short sleeve version would be a better one. Yeah,
I love how the crest and the badge look together there. On the Adidas. The problem I have, Tess, with the long sleeve is like you got 3 lines coming up, and then there's just a patch, and then 3 lines. It's like they just found a sleeve and stuck it on there. Like it doesn't look part of the jersey. At least on the other side, it's broken up by the sponsor. But if they had another sponsor there on the sleeve or something, but it just looks like it just got reattached after, like it was an afterthought. I know it's not. But that's what it looks like to me.
I agree. I have to agree with you. And I saw that on the. I think they did that on the home shirt as well. Did they? I think they did a long sleeve version of the home shirt, but also with the home shirt, it's similar to that, where you don't sort of get the, on the sleeve there, that it's got this sort of the squiggly lines and that sort of design and pattern and stuff. It doesn't have that on the long sleeve one, I don't think, which is interesting. But you're right, it does kind of, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like it's kind of been sewn on.
It looks like a bit of an after. But the jersey itself, I actually do really like it. I'll definitely get it, but it will definitely be the short sleeve, I guess.
Big shouts to Martin McKeever as well. He's in New Zealand via County Louth. He doesn't like the long sleeve either. Thanks for listening in and joining us.
Yeah, thanks very much, Martin. So it's great. Like this time in the day, and it's like we have listeners from the UK, we have listeners from Australia, now New Zealand as well, Ireland. Thanks very much, lads. It really means a lot for you jumping into the live and interacting with us, and keep an eye out for the future pods. We always send a link so when the lives are going to be and stuff, and we love people jumping on and interacting and stuff. So thanks very much, Martin, for jumping in all the way from New Zealand and throwing in a few comments and stuff. And I'm hoping you'll join us again.
I was just going to say to Darren, cheers for listening in, Darren. Just think of the long sleeve as sun protection, but that's what we got like sun cream for, eh? Like we got the slip slop slap stuff here, and we can go to the beach and wear the short sleeve instead of wearing the long sleeve. So when we jump in, well, I'm not going to jump in the water to get salt water all over my shirt, to be honest. But while you're at the beach and you're hanging around, you got your shorts on, short sleeves, and you got your sun cream on. No worries.
That's it. Because of the jobs I work in construction, they make us wear long sleeve and long pants over here, and some days it's 40 degrees and you have to have like long sleeve, long pants, so like for sun protection. So trust me, I have no intention of wearing long sleeve outside after work.
No, and also you're not going to be wearing your Villa shirt to go to work in as well. So yeah. Spud, I think we're going to wrap it up here because we'll be back on Sunday. Is there anything that you'd like to say finally to listeners before we head up?
Yeah, that's just a couple of things. We won't name names now, but we do have some brilliant guests coming up over the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. We mentioned last week's podcast that we will be soon holding a competition. We're going to be giving away 2 personally signed autobiography books from Mr. Peter Witt himself, which he will personally sign. And we're going to be here twice a week for the next season, as much as we can anyway. We'll be consistent. So just make sure you hit the like, hit the follow on your preferred platform as well, because it doesn't cost anything, but like it really does help the podcast grow if you can just hit the follow button or hit and even hitting the like, and even the interactions in the comments. It all goes around to helping us get the word out there. And also, if you're new to the podcast, go over and have a look there. We recently had Peter Witt on the podcast. We're very, very thankful that he came on and gave us time. So that was a couple of episodes back. So jump on and have a watch of that, because it was really, really good listen. And thanks to everybody who's joined in. And for those who haven't listened yet, that's going to listen tonight, thanks very much to you as well. And we're really, really appreciative of the sport. And we've got a lot of support from the UK and Ireland. I know we're starting to get a lot of support within Australia, as Tes mentioned earlier as well. In the last couple of weeks, we're really starting to get a lot of interaction from the Australian-based Villa fans as well, which is huge for us as well, being a Villa podcast. So we love all the people that are listening, and we're just trying to build a little community here, and that's all it is for us. We're not trying to get money out of it. We're not trying to get anything out of it. We just love to jump on and have a chat with everyone and talk Villa, really. Being on the other side of the world, it's nice to have a couple of people that we can interact with, and just keep tuning in and sharing the podcast for us, and really appreciate your time, guys.
Yeah, I second that. I really appreciate everyone listening in and joining us. As we talked about in the last episode, I went down to Brisbane and met a bunch of Villa fans from Sydney, Wodonga, from everywhere. The Gold Coast, there was a bunch of people from the Gold Coast, and as you can see, we've got some good friends and listeners who are in New Zealand and in the UK joining us on one of the platforms. So please stay with us and get involved. If you've got questions or a point of view, pop it in the comments and let's discuss it, because we really like to do that. That's why we do this. So on that note, we'll catch you on Sunday. Good luck to the Villa against Brentford away from home. Hoping we get 3 points. Oh, Spud, sorry. What's the score going to be?
3-0.
Scorers?
Watkins 2, Rodgers 1.
Okay. Okay. I'll go with that. That's cool. Yeah, I think there's nothing else to say, but up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
See you Sunday, guys. Take care.